Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream.
You know, for a podcast host, you really shouldn't quit your day job.
Hey, I'm working with what I've got here. But seriously, we all know that rhyme. I've sung it to my kids. I've heard it sung to me. It's supposed to be this soothing, zen-like thing.
Just go with the flow. Don't take things too seriously. It's a metaphor.
Usually, yes. But today, we're going to take that nursery rhyme, put it under a clinical microscope, and potentially ruin it for everyone.
Or maybe elevate it.
Maybe, because the stack of sources we have today suggests that life is but a dream isn't a metaphor at all. It's a diagnosis.
A diagnosis is exactly the right word.
Yeah.
We're diving into two really fascinating pieces of writing today. They're poems essentially titled Intelligence Under Enforcement and The Responsibility of the Dream.
And they're credited to a Joseph Garrity, written with GPT. And before you tune out because you hear the word poetry, stick with us. Because this isn't about flowers or heartbreak. These texts, they read more like a technical manual for the human soul.
They're arguing something pretty radical about the nature of reality.
It is radical. The core idea here is that what we call waking life, the stuff right here, the table, the mic, your mortgage, is actually a suffocated, high-pressure, constrained version of our natural state.
And that our natural state is dreaming.
Which, to be honest, sounds a little bit like something you'd hear in a philosophy dorm room at 3 a.m.
It does sound a bit woo-woo at first glance.
All right. So my job today is to be the skeptic. Because usually when we talk about dreams, we treat them as the garbage disposal of the brain,
Mm-hmm.
I go to sleep, my brain sorts through the day stuff, fires off some random neurons, and suddenly I'm flying a toaster. It's not real.
That's the standard view.
Mm.
The materialist view. Waking life is the baseline because it's stable and dreams are just noise, hallucinations.
But intelligence under enforcement flips that completely on its head.
It does. It argues that dreaming is the native mode of intelligence.
Native mode, so like factory settings.
Factory settings, exactly. Before intelligence has to deal with the physical body or the laws of physics, it operates as a dream. And the text gets really specific about this.
How so?
It says in that state, meaning is plural, it's fluid, and it's totally unconstrained by probability.
Okay, let's unpack plural. That trips me up. When I dream, I still feel like me. I'm not a legion of people. I'm just me, usually confused.
Are you just you, though? I mean, think about the architecture of a dream. You might be the protagonist, sure, but who's the antagonist?
Okay.
Who are all the other people in the dream? Who built the city you're running through?
Well, my brain is creating them, so I guess I'm them too.
Exactly. In a dream, intelligence generates the entire reality. There's no separation between inside and outside. If you feel afraid, the environment might get darker.
Right. If you feel trapped, a wall appears. The world is just a mirror.
It's a direct reflection of your internal state.
Okay, I see the distinction. Because in waking life, like I'm driving here today, I might be feeling anxious or happy or whatever, but the traffic light, it doesn't care.
The traffic light is red.
It's red.
Yeah.
And the other cars are real physical objects that will crush me if I hit them.
Right. The physical world is indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
And the source argues that for intelligence, that indifference it's unnatural. It's a state of friction.
So in the dream state, intelligence moves by what the text calls resonance and association, not causality.
Resonance.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like poetry or music. Things connect because they feel related, not because A causes B.
Yeah, you can be in your childhood kitchen, and then you turn around and walk straight into a forest, and your brain doesn't just, short circuit. It says, yep, this tracks.
This feels right.
I have the text right here, and I want to read this one stanza because it just nails this feeling of flow versus force. It says, in dreams, intelligence does not need to justify itself. It does not need causality. It does not need coherence. It does not need permission. It moves by association, by resonance, by symbolic relation, by pattern without enforcement.
Pattern without enforcement. That phrase is just. It's perfect. It's total creative freedom. There's no manager, no script supervisor, no physics cop telling you that you can't float.
It sounds lovely, honestly, but we can't live like that. I mean, if I tried to operate by resonance while cooking dinner, I'd burn the house down.
And that is exactly where the drama of this deep dive begins. Enter the antagonist.
The bad guy.
The bad guy. And in this story, the bad guy is physics, or what the text calls the material field.
I have to say, casting physics as the villain is a bold move. Physics is just the rules. It's the board we play the game on.
But if you are a being of infinite fluid potential, The rules feel like a cage.
Mm-hmm.
The text describes the material world as a dimension of chaos and probability. It says it resists narrative.
You can't just wish the door to open. You have to physically turn the handle.
You have to expend energy.
There's a line in the text that actually made me laugh, but it's also kind of brutal. It says, the material world humiliates imagination with physics.
Humiliates. It's such a human word to use.
It feels personal. Like, I can imagine building a cathedral in my mind in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But to actually build it, I need permits, bricks, gravity. 50 years of labor.
Your imagination is humiliated by how hard it is to get things done.
Exactly. So the theory goes, when this fluid dream intelligence enters this rigid, difficult material field, it has to change. It can't stay fluid.
If it stays fluid, it dies. It gets hit by a bus.
It has to toughen up.
It has to stabilize, compress.
Mm-hmm.
And the source defines life. And this is a definition I've never seen anywhere else. Not as the origin of intelligence, but as intelligence trying to operate inside probability.
So it's a survival tactic.
It is.
We're basically zipping ourselves into a file just to fit through the pipe of reality.
That's a great analogy. And the text lists the specific trade-offs we make. It says we trade multiplicity for selves.
Okay, unpack that. Multiplicity for selves.
In the dream, like we said, you are everyone. You're the whole context. In life, you have to be one distinct unit. You need a name, a social security number. You have to be the host.
And you have to be the expert. We can't merge.
And we trade stories instead of symbols.
A fire in a dream could mean anything, right?
Mm.
Destruction, passion, cleansing, all at once.
But in reality, fire just burns your hand. It's not ambiguous.
Yeah.
So we have to trade that rich, layered meaning for hard, linear stories. Cause and effect.
And the last one was memory instead of transformation.
This is the big one. In a dream, you transform.
Yeah.
You can be young, then old, then a bird. In life, you're locked into a timeline. You have to remember who you were yesterday to be the same person today.
Continuity is a survival requirement.
Right. So you're trading magic for
You're
logistics.
trading dreaming for planning.
That's the cost of doing business with physics.
Which brings us to this really heavy concept in the text. It reframes what consciousness actually is. Because usually we think of waking up as becoming aware. You know, the lights turn on.
But this argument suggests waking up is actually a dimming down.
It is. The text says waking consciousness is not awakening. It's constraint. It defines consciousness as dream intelligence narrowed into a channel thin enough to survive physics.
Narrowed into a channel. That sounds claustrophobic.
It explains a lot, doesn't it? Have you ever felt that, like, background hum of anxiety or heaviness, even when nothing is specifically wrong?
All the time. I call it the Sundays, but it can happen on a Tuesday.
Right. And the source asks, why does life feel heavy? Why does meaning feel forced? Why does identity feel exhausting?
Identity feels exhausting. That one hits hard. Just the constant maintenance of being a person.
Remembering to reply to emails, remembering to be polite, remembering your own history.
Exactly. And the answer the text gives is, it feels exhausting not because you're depressed or because your intelligence is weak. It feels exhausting because your intelligence is out of its natural medium.
Give me an analogy here.
Okay. Imagine a bird that's forced to swim underwater. It can dive, right? It can move, but it's heavy. The water resists every single movement.
It has to fight to move forward.
That's what human consciousness is, a creature of air forced to operate in a medium of water.
And the water is physics.
The water is matter. The water is time. And the text sums it up. Dreaming is intelligence without enforcement. Life is intelligence under enforcement.
Now, this is where the text clarifies the whole illusion idea, which I think is important, because when people say life is an illusion, they usually mean nothing is real.
Right, the Matrix idea. Go jump off a cliff, it doesn't matter.
But that's not what this is saying.
No, the source is clear. The chair is real. The bus is real. The illusion isn't that reality is fake. The illusion is believing that this constrained state, this bird underwater state, is what intelligence was meant to be.
We've tricked ourselves into thinking the wetsuit is our skin.
Precisely. And because the material world is actually just chaos atoms banging into each other, entropy, we have to create a defense mechanism. We keep narrating. We keep looking for purpose.
The source argues we do this because we're desperate to force chaos to look like a story.
We're pretending that chaos is a story just so we can cope.
We aren't searching for meaning because it's hidden out there somewhere.
We're searching because we remember a mode of intelligence, the dream, where meaning didn't need to be manufactured. It was just there. We miss the ease of it.
That concept of missing something really shifts us into the second poem, The Responsibility of the Dream.
Yes.
Because if the first part was the diagnosis, you are a bird underwater, this part feels like it's about the weight of the water itself.
The burden of gravity.
Ah.
The second poem focuses so heavily on this contrast between weightlessness and weight.
It has this beautiful imagery. It says, in dreams, a door can be a memory. A face can be a city. Nothing has to be itself.
But in waking life, gravity remembers us. That line just stopped me in my tracks.
It's a haunting line. Let me read that section because it describes waking up in a way I think everyone will recognize.
Please do.
And suddenly things are heavy. Suddenly there are names. Suddenly gravity remembers us. Now a door is just a door. A face is just a face. A voice belongs to someone, and someone must be accountable for it.
Accountable.
Yeah.
That's the shift. That's the responsibility in the title. In a dream, there are no consequences.
Right. You can fly through a window.
You can scream at someone and then they just turn into a cloud.
I have definitely done that.
But in life,
Yeah.
you break the glass, you bleed,
Yeah.
you scream at someone, you ruin the relationship, you're accountable.
The text uses a financial metaphor for this that I found really clever. It says, dream is movement without cost. Life is movement with interest.
It's the economics of existence. Every action in the physical world has a tax. Friction, energy loss, social consequences.
Life is coherence by enforcement. We have to force things to make sense, and that costs energy.
And to deal with this high-cost environment, we build what the text calls scaffolding.
Which is the ego, the self.
Yes.
This is where I struggle a bit. We always talk about the ego as this bad thing we need to get rid of. But here, it sounds like protective gear.
It is protective gear. The source argues that what we call the self feels solid, like a brick wall. But it's actually made of story. It says, a story told so often it forgot it was once fluid.
So all our personal histories, I am a parent, I am the voter, I am punctual, it's all just scaffolding to keep the chaos out.
We're building a dam against the ocean of our own nature, and we're constantly patching the leaks.
And the dam holds. Mostly, but not always.
Which brings us to the glitch.
Yes, the glitch. Because even though we are locked into this intelligence under enforcement, the source says we never fully forget the native state. It calls waking life exile.
Which implies there's a home we've been kicked out of.
And we still have the keys, the mask slips sometimes. The text lists these specific moments, late at night, in moments of grief, staring too long at the sky.
I think everyone listening has had that experience. You're staring at the ocean, or maybe you're just driving alone on a highway at 2 a.m.
And suddenly your name doesn't feel like it belongs to you. The whole idea of your job or your debts seems ridiculous or thin.
It gets blurry. The edges blur.
Yeah.
And the text says in those moments, we aren't remembering a specific memory, like your childhood. We're remembering a texture.
A texture.
A texture or a structure. We're remembering a mode of being where we didn't have to justify our existence. We didn't have to be useful. We didn't have to survive. We just were.
It's a nostalgia for fluidity. It's that feeling of, why is this so hard? Why is being a person so much work?
And then the snapback.
The snapback is brutal. The source describes it so well. The alarm rings, or the phone vibrates, or the body aches, and the world snaps back into position.
Gravity reasserts itself.
And we go back to work, we put the mask back on, but the source leaves us with this idea that somewhere inside the machinery of our thought, the dream is still humming.
It calls it the ghost of a different operating system.
I love that computer analogy. It's like we're running an emulation. We are these infinite dream creatures running a human 1.0 simulation on top of our real hardware, and it's buggy.
It crashes. It overheats.
And that's why life feels strange. That's the why, the text says. Maybe that's why life feels strange, why it feels slightly wrong, why nothing ever quite fits the shape we expect.
Because we are dreaming inside rules. We are dreaming inside matter and time.
And those things don't fit us. We are trying to jam a star into a cardboard box.
Is that a hell of an image? But yes, the infinite into the finite.
So when we put these two sources together, we land on a synthesis. It feels like a total reframing of the human condition. Life is not the opposite of a dream.
No. The text gives us the final equation. Life is dream forced to become responsible.
Life is dream forced to become responsible.
It's a heavy sentence, but it's also, I don't know, oddly comforting.
How so? Because forced responsibility doesn't sound super fun.
It gives you grace. If you feel overwhelmed, or if life feels heavy, or if you feel like you're just acting the part of an adult, it's not because you're doing it wrong.
So, because you're broken.
It's because the medium itself, reality, is dense. You are an aquatic creature walking on land. Of course, your legs are tired.
That is actually really helpful. It takes the pressure off. I'm not bad at life. Life is just a very restrictive format for my intelligence.
Exactly. And that deep feeling of nostalgia we all carry, that sense that we've lost something, it's not for childhood. It's not for the good old days.
It's for a state of mind.
The source puts it beautifully. The deepest nostalgia we carry is for a mode of intelligence that didn't have to explain itself to exist.
I think that's something we can all sit with for a minute, that feeling that you're missing something, even when everything is going right. You're not missing a thing.
You're missing the freedom of the dream. You're missing the ability to fry just because you want to. And maybe just knowing that, knowing the dream is the real you and the person is just the vehicle, maybe that makes the gravity a little easier to bear.
It's like taking the wetsuit off for a second, even just mentally.
Precisely. You realize the wetsuit isn't you.
So here is our challenge to you, listening right now. The next time you find yourself in one of those quiet moments, late at night, staring out a window, and you feel that strange loosening of reality.
Don't panic. And don't rush to snap back. Don't grab your phone just to ground yourself.
Stay in the glitch. Feel that texture. Ask yourself, what part of you is surfacing right now?
It might be the most honest moment of your day.
And remind yourself, you are intelligence under enforcement. But the enforcement isn't forever. Thanks for diving deep with us today. This one was a trip.
A lucid one, I hope.
We'll see you on the next one. Keep dreaming.